Yeah,
All
very, very
right.
lucky.
Sorry, let me just
Would
unplug
have
my
been your fault
computer.
for once.
Let me just kick the fucking power cable out while I'm here. Um,
I'm sounding good. Yeah, I am sounding good. I
yeah,
can
you're
see that
right.
on my screen. All right.
All right. We're talking Mish. We're talking The Sailor Who Fell from Grace to the Seas, chapters 6 and 7. From the viewpoint of Ryuji swapping with Noboru and Fusako in chapter 7. So we're no longer from a single viewpoint in each chapter, which is a refreshing change. Chapter 6 is a continuation of chapter 4. Chapter 5 is a flashback to before chapter 4, which I didn't realize. So it ends with what you described as the what me worry grin from a soaking wet Ryuji to Noboru and his friends. Noboru is pretty classically horrified by the circumstance that he finds
I would
himself.
say even furious would be a good way
Uh,
to describe it.
I think he seems really freaked out initially, and then all his
Yeah.
friends like literally run away.
Yeah.
On
Because
top,
you've got to remember, he had just killed a cat.
yes. On top of that, Ryuji said he should never had said things he should never have said. Small world, isn't it? Have a good swim. And when Noboru asked him in his soaking shirt, he should have answered, "Oh, this? I rescued a woman who'd thrown herself off the pier. This makes it the third time I'd had to go swimming with all my clothes on." But he hadn't said anything of the kind. Instead, he'd offered this ridiculous explanation, which is whatever the weird shit he was doing with the bubbler.
Yes, and we're about to see as well that this gets written up um on Ryuji's rap sheet. Uh,
Yes,
that then this will become a ongoing feature of the rest of the novel.
we do have the quite cynical line actually from Ryuji. He wants me to like him. I guess having a new woman's brat like you can be pretty convenient at times. Which
Hmm.
I thought was Noboru saying that, but then I realized it was actually Ryuji saying it, which makes it unusually cynical for him.
Hmm.
Um, so a little bit more character. He comes in, follows Noboru home, or sorry, they both go home together. Um, and he sort of has a bit of a male bonding activity by assisting Noboru in his lie that he was at the beach instead of killing and skinning a cat
Hmm.
by faking putting sand in his shoes or something. Apparently there was a convenient pile of sand that he was able to put his feet in by the side of the road.
What's Japan after all?
Yeah. So they go home and have a bit of a bro hangout, and they they ally in opposition to the female housekeeper, the Harrinan, who tells them off and pushes them around. Um, they have a bit of time talking about the boats, the steamers, not very nice, not very friendly lines of questioning from Noboru, but just because he's being irritating rather than being particularly malicious, I think. Then Ryuji has a what do they call it when you have too much ketamine? Ego death. He has an
Yeah, he
ego
was.
death experience.
Yeah, he sort of sundowns a bit. Like he just sort of. I think with I don't know if you've been, but I'm there quite a lot where you are just so exhausted that you start to like semi hallucinate and you just fall asleep with your eyes awake. Basically,
Yeah.
that's what I imagine he's done.
Well, I don't know. But whatever it is, he seems like Noboru is enjoying this experience. But he also seems quite moody and shifts his allegiances
Mm.
at the drop of a hat. So, and as Ryuji's leaving the housekeeper ogles him and expects to have him back at the house later tonight. So, actually, quite a short chapter. I thought it was longer than that, but
Mm-mm.
yeah, quite short. It's I think going through my notes. Oh, actually, that's right. I was a bit surprised because on page 52, although you described it as a what me worry smile, he seems horrified by it. But then on page 52, I think that Noboru actually takes it as a reassuring smile which I found a bit strange because it does
Mm.
seem like a very like artificial, creepy, like I'm thinking like a rictus grin that he's giving rather than a what me
Yeah,
worry.
I didn't get that impression. I think I think Noboru thinks that Ryuji's grinning like a fucking idiot.
No, he says it's
Like he's
reassuring. He says the
really.
sailor's pleasure at being entrusted with a secret is a reassuring smile and quick ascent.
Oh, sorry.
Disappointed
That
Noboru.
smile. I thought we were talking about the smile after
Oh, that is a different smile. Okay, I'm cutting
yeah,
this out then. I don't want to look like a
yeah.
fucking idiot on a podcast. No, I'm leaving it in.
Well, I kind of like that little bit where he's like, "Oh, but at least he could have threatened me a little," you
Yeah,
know.
he
Like,
like hit me, daddy. I so it's a bit the notes are pretty all over the shop for me because I did write them on the trade, but I've got bros because they're having a bit of a bro hangout.
Mhm.
Um, and we get into what Ryuji actually does on the boat or what the company he works for does, which is goods transport throughout the Pacific as a
Yeah,
tramp steamer. So that would be a boat that is not is self-employed. It's effectively independent of a company that does a small cargo to fill orders rather than like a standard route they do back and forth. They just do everything
yeah, and
wherever.
I think it's not specialized either. I mean, it can do grain and fruit and all sorts of things, you know?
Yeah, and it does hurt Ryuji's pride to have that pointed out by Noboru, which is pretty pathetic because it's
Yes,
not his boat. Um,
yes.
he just works on it, but I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I got the impression as well that this conversation he has with Noboru is a bit tedious for him as well. He's sort of just going through the motions and answering this stupid kid's questions about like the boat. Have you been to X? Have you been to Y? Have you done X? Have you done Y? And he's just sort of been like, yeah, 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 I've done all that.
Yeah.
You know, he gets to this point where he wants to start talking wistfully about. I think he was wanted to talk about the date palms or something in the Middle
Well,
East,
he
and
wanted to
he's
think
like,
about
but
the wine palms, but he didn't know how
he
to
wanted the
tell
wine palms.
that kind
Yeah,
of story to a child.
yeah,
So I'm guessing
yeah. He's like, how would you?
well, what does that mean? Did he get like a blowjob under the wine palms, or like
I no, I think he would have had difficulty describing the actual beauty of what he saw to this kid who I don't think he holds really in that much regard emotionally, right? Like he just didn't think that Noboru would understand
Oh, okay,
why these wine palms are beautiful.
right, okay. I sort of was reading it and thinking, what is his mysterious attachment? It sounds like there's something that's occurred that's sinister rather than
I,
something innocent and just being impressed by natural beauty or whatever.
nah, he's just talking to a kid. That's
Yeah, fair enough.
maybe you've forgotten what it's like because you got kids, but for me, as someone who's child free and loving it, when you're talking to a kid, the conversations can be insanely
Oh
tedious
yes,
when you
this is tedious. Let me just read a couple of lines.
yeah,
What
read it
was the
out,
Philippines'
please.
chief product again? Luan wood, I guess. How about Malaya? That'd be iron ore. Here's one for you. What's Cuba's chief product? Sugar. What else? Everyone knows that. So, have you ever been to the West Indies? Yes, just once. Did you go to Haiti? Yes, etc., etc.
Boy, how about the trees there?
Trees,
Yep.
like shade tree. Oh yeah, fair enough. But Bridge is just like, fuck. What am I fucking doing here?
And this is about the point where I think he's like, I want to go to bed. I'm so tired.
Oh man.
And he's feeling good, you know. It's a hot day, and the air conditioner's on, and he's getting dried off by
Yeah, growing this soaking wet shirt.
it.
So Noboru, this does spur a bit of a fit of imagination for Noboru, um, picturing his own, in place of Noboru on a ship. Sorry, in place of Ryuji on a ship. Imagining himself as a mate, which,
Yeah,
they've got TV, so I don't know what the fuck, like this kid's relying on his imagination for, but whatever.
Yeah, and Nation sort of disappeared after World War II, didn't it? But then you have the part where it actually does talk about Ryuji is just sinking into this void, and I like that term. I like he's sinking into a void because I think that sets up the next chapter quite nicely.
Lack of sleep and a succession of shocks had exhausted him. I think that's Noboru is talking about himself there. He's not talking about Ryuji because it's Noboru who falls asleep, not Ryuji.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought that was Ryuji he's talking about there, but maybe you're right. I think you're
No, I
right.
think Ryuji's just like I don't just going like entering a trance or something.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, you're right. It is Noboru. It is Noboru who's, for some reason, it was the lack of sleep and succession of shocks. I don't know what lack of sleep and succession of shocks you would need as a 13-year-old boy to make you feel like that. But
Oh, I think he's talking about the fact that he kept up all night watching his mum
oh
getting
yeah,
getting bloody all the wrestling moves done on her,
getting plowed by
getting
Ryuji.
a
Yeah,
stone cold stunner, and
getting made as as Ryuji says.
yeah, and then getting freaked out after killing a cat and meeting a guy who is soaking wet from a bubbler, like grinning at you, going like, "Yo, what's up, dude?"
Yeah, in front of the boss as well.
Um, so Noboru does fall asleep, but he's as he's drowning in sleep. Happiness, he thought, happiness that defies description. Is after he imagines himself. Oh, sorry, as he imagines Ryuji being the authentic hero, um, the naked sailor twisting in the moonlight to confront a horn, the kitten's death mask, grave and fang bared, its ruby heart, gorgeous entities all, and absolutely authentic. So he is having like I would say, a psychotic break of some variety, but everyone's just assuming it's like, and it's written as though he's just like, oh, this has been such an interesting day. I'm so exhausted, even though he's been an evil little creep for like 90% of it.
I think it's a really interesting reading because for me, I was just thinking like that's just what happens when you're sort of doing that wakeful dreaming when you're dozing off, you're napping, and you're dreaming, but you're still half awake, and you're just your dreams can be quite vivid and abstract. And for me, I don't know, it seems
Well, what do you make of
pretty normal to
what do
me.
you make of his happiness out of this? Because it's sort of like, as you said, it is a waking
That's
dream,
psychotic.
but
Yeah,
is it happiness that he's having, like, all vicarious um adventure through
like
Ryuji's
vicarious.
stories, or that it's just like the
Um,
day has just overwhelmed him?
you're right. It probably goes back to him being overwhelmed by the day, but also think of what's gone right, except for maybe being a bit embarrassed in front of the boys. He got to see his mum have sex, and he
Got to.
got to kill a cat. Well, I mean, I mean, he did. He got to see his mum have sex, and he got to kill a cat. What more could you want as a 13-year-old boy?
Well, I couldn't. I would personally probably neither of those, but whatever. I do.
Well, for this little sicko,
I
yeah.
did like Ryuji's like, again, half um philosophical musings of what am I supposed to be doing? Like, as he's just after he's finished having a shitty, boring conversation with Noboru, and he's talking about his eyes roving the dim room and marveling at the golden clock enthroned on the mantelpiece. Like, just literally just looking for anything interesting to do to occupy his time so he didn't have to talk to the child. He says, "What am I supposed to be doing here on a summer afternoon? Who am I, sitting in a daze next to the son of a woman I made last night? Until
Hmm.
yesterday, I had my song. The sea's my home. I decided that, although he didn't remember that song at the time, famously. And the tears I cried for it, and the 2 million yen in my bank account as guarantees of my reality. What have I got now?" Which, I read that in sort of a pompous way, because I think it's a very pompous sort of thought. Like, he's
Mm.
obviously considering what you've brought up before, which is, his own consideration of a break with the sea.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of foreshadowing, and the thing I was thinking about, just having a quick reread of this before we talked is I think what Mishima does really well is he's good at showing how characters ruminate over thoughts, but not just ruminate, but rehearse their own thoughts. So they sort of rehearse themselves into thinking in a certain way, and you can see that Ryoji's doing this with his life as a sailor, and he's sort of. I think earlier, a couple of chapters ago, he was saying he had some dumb, corny phrase that he was sort of thinking about or using or something like that. And I think this is another example of maybe a bit of a more sophisticated example of that, of him starting to rehearse in his own head a justification for maybe taking a break from his current situation.
I think he's certainly seeing something more. I don't know, like he's preparing himself, as you said, to sort of shift his life into a more significant relationship. He's at the house and he's wondering, is this something that could be nice? Is this something I could be comfortable with?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I'd do that if it was 1960 whatever, and it was a hot summer day and I just walked into an air conditioned house. Yes.
all right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to cover in this chapter?
No,
I feel like there wasn't
no,
that
I think that
much
was
to it.
a good summary. It was a nice chapter. I liked it. I really, really enjoyed
It's
that.
a good come down after the stress of the previous one. And sort
Yeah,
of rehumanizing them, but at the same time emphasizing that something's deeply wrong with
yeah.
Noboru.
I did forget about the fact that he killed a cat.
Yeah,
Almost.
almost. He does
Yeah,
bring it up twice in that chapter.
yeah, yeah. Well, the next chapter, thankfully, there's not much cat killing in this one.
Take it away.
All right. To keep it brief, this is a chapter that starts to tease out the feelings, they've caught feelings, Fusako and Ryuji. And it's sort of getting into their heads about how they're feeling for each other, and it sort of accompanies them on a date. And then we flip over to young Noboru, who is at home and eagerly awaiting the return of his mother.
Extremely eagerly awaiting it.
Yeah, hopefully with Ryuji in tow, so he can see his mother get railed again. But alas, his mother decides she will stay out that night. I actually don't know where she. I'm assuming they go to a hotel.
Yeah, it's in chapter 8. They talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she gets a hotel with Ryuji, and presumably they, do it again.
Do it,
But
baby.
Noboru is furious, and that's when he draws up the charges against Mr. Ryuji Sukazaki.
Yes.
Which should I read now that we know? I think maybe could we start the chapter by me reading out the charges that come at the end of the chapter?
Yeah, certainly. Whatever you'd like to.
Yeah. So the charges against Ryuji Sukazaki. Number 1, smiling at me in a cowardly, ingratiating way when I met him this afternoon.
Definitely correct. That was an ingratiating smile the way it was described.
Number 2, wearing a dripping wet shirt and explaining that he had taken a shower in the fountain at the path, just like an old bum.
Correct.
And number 3, deciding arbitrarily to spend the night out with mother, therefore placing me in an awfully isolated position. Yes.
Guilty.
Yeah,
guilty and death is a
guilty.
sentence.
But you just wait. There are more charges added later on.
Yeah, I imagine. What a ghoul. He is such a creep in the second half of this chapter. He's even like described as like he's becoming greasy and like wet as he's moving around because he's going in and out of that cupboard to.
Oh yeah, he's like that's exactly the picture I got. He's like slippery. He's like
becoming like a sweaty mole or something.
Especially wait, it's earlier on, right, where he gets naked and goes into the box.
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah. You can just imagine him like sitting dripping with sweat. So anyway, why don't we just go back to start chapter 7?
He's becoming like a Junji Ito. He's looking like a Junji Ito character.
I don't know who that is.
He's a Japanese horror manga artist.
Oh.
I'll send you a photo.
I'm guaranteeing there's something that I don't want to see.
Probably.
So this is a bit of a tender chapter where Fusako feels like a whore because she's fully expecting Ryuji to basically say, "Well, that's it for me. That's all, folks. See you later." And this is sort of the heart wrenching final date that she's going to go to the steakhouse with him. He's going to take her back to her house and have sex with her, and then he's going to get on his boat, and then she's never going to see him again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awful photo. But that is kind of like I'd imagine him,
That's
except
exactly what I imagined it
without a
looked like.
shirt. Yeah, little creep. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, yes, I agree. But I would like to do a bloody rewind first, if I can,
Okay.
because I
Yeah,
think
you
that
can do
this is
that.
actually a good compare and contrast that he does between the two characters of Ryuji and Fusako, where it's sort of like they say a statement and then it's interpreted from the other person's perspective immediately. So
Yeah.
Fusako has a huge run of hilarious generalizations of Ryuji, which he spent the
Yes.
last 6 chapters building himself up as this deep,
Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah.
complex man. And Fusako on Ryuji, these are the notes that I've got. She describes him as
Yeah.
simple, not a dreamer, a plain man,
Yep.
a piece of sturdy
Yep.
furniture, a guarantee of
Yep.
safety, and down to earth. But
Yep.
importantly, not a man to burden her financially
Yep.
because he has his own
Yep.
own source of income. So
That's
I,
right.
I, I was reading that and I'm like, this is so funny. Like after he's like thinking of himself as this magnificent hero, and she's just like, oh, he really is quite a what a good solid man I've got here. How
Yeah.
sensible.
She's very much cut from the same cloth as I think a lot of men and women in our generation are, which is they're really, if you can get a partner who's not insane, who can hold down a mid-level, mid-wage job and is able to wipe their own ass, then you're pretty much onto a winner these days. And I think that's sort of like her view is like, here is someone who's, yeah,
I think it is.
relatively fine.
I think it's
you know,
even less subtle than that because
you
she
reckon?
says, and what a simple man he was. Their conversation in the park the night before was proof of that. First, he had misled her with his pensive look into expecting profound
Yeah.
observations or even a passionate declaration. Then he'd begun a monologue on shreds of green leaf and prattled about his personal history. And finally, horribly entangled his own story, burst into the refrain of a popular song.
Yep.
What a
That
hilarious,
that whole bit highlighted as
it's
well.
just incredible, like totally owned just in her own head. Um, I do, I like that she plays along with him though. She seems a bit like of a theatrical woman. Like she's got a bit
You
of,
think so? Yeah.
um,
Oh, we find that out later in the novel.
well,
Yeah,
she likes a bit of
she
theatre. Like
she does.
she has the mint frappe with the cherry stem, which
Hmm.
he didn't really want, it sounds like. But then she ate the fruit, put the stone in a shallow glass ashtray, and then, being the freak that he is, Ryuji puts the stone in his mouth, and she's delighted by
She
that.
melts. She just goes
A
weak
cry of
when
surprise
he does that.
rose to Fusako's lips, and then she began to laugh. She'd never known such a moment of peaceful physical intimacy
Oh
of this
god.
weird freak. So
It's just eating a stone fruit's pit.
when he's like, so she's like, this simple oaf that I've got here. He does such silly things to surprise me. How tender.
Yeah, I could dress him up like a Ken doll and,
And he's thinking like,
make him brush his
this will
hair.
freak her out. Check this out. I'm gonna eat this stone.
Hey, what did you think of that, huh?
Yeah. Well,
Pretty good, right?
fortunately, it's not actually. His thought process for that isn't actually explained within the chapter for some strange reason.
No.
I think that's fortunate though that we don't figure out why he ate the stone.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if we would get some insight into that, but I think maybe that was, is it normal to eat a cherry? Is it cherry? Yeah,
No,
cherry.
because it's got cyanide in it.
Yeah, most stone fruits do, don't they?
I don't know.
Most fruit pit, whatever.
Uh,
Um.
so he
Anyway, so then they start getting honest with each other.
well, sort of. I think
Yeah.
again, this is what I'm saying
Well,
about her
she gets
being
honest with him.
theatrical, her blurting out as they were passing a nursery that are closed for the day.
Yeah.
Like, come on, as they were passing the broken condom shop, uh, as they were passing the oyster and alcohol shop. I've sunk pretty low thanks to you. Why? Surprised Ryuji stopped.
Never ask. Never ask.
Yeah, well, that's right.
I
And yet
mean,
he does.
I've learned my lesson over time.
He
Yeah.
does twice ask, and she does not answer. Which he then considers that Fusako's complaint was interpreted as typical a woman whining. His second why was therefore playful teasing, which whatever. I don't know how she takes that again. This isn't
Mm.
elucidated.
Does not take it well, actually,
No.
because going through her head is the pattern familiar to any harbour whore, waving goodbye to a man.
Yes, perhaps. I liked his bitching about the boring work slog, which sounds extremely boring on a boat.
I think he'd probably relish in it, though.
Well, yeah, he does seem like a boring person. Not a lot of meat on the ship menu. Miso soup with eggplant and bean curd.
Oh, no, I had that highlighted, actually. I said, I wrote, sailors eat better than me.
Yeah, well,
That looks great.
miso soup with eggplant and bean curd, stewed white
Yeah.
radishes, raw onions. That sounds a bit strange. Mustard and rice.
Yeah. Mustard is mustard greens, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah. That looks good. I'd eat it.
For breakfast?
Definitely. And then for lunch they get soup.
Oh, sounds good.
Sounds good, yeah, yeah. Oh no, that is lunch at West Side. That begins with the miso, yeah.
Yeah.
That looks really good to me. I'd definitely eat that.
They do. They then bust into a nursery,
Hmm.
and sort of fuck around in the garden, I guess.
Yeah.
Not they don't have sex. They kiss. It sounds like, and are passionately close, but not actually having sex.
Yeah.
Um,
And he
they're
makes the mistake we all have, which is you whip out the ciggy in front of the girl and she snatches it from your lips.
furiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, she snatches the lighter, but
it does sound like he's doing it to be not to be cool, but he does like he is described in a pretty cool way.
Yeah, yeah. It is a cool move.
Like the first cool thing he does in the book, and it's unconscious.
But then it gets good because he describes that kiss as the kiss of death, and what he means, I think, is it's the kiss of death for his lifestyle. That's
No,
it. No more sea for this sailor.
I don't think so. I think
No?
I mean, that's a good reading of it, but I don't think that's what he intends in his description.
Oh,
I did like that section because they talk about the kiss, and the first paragraph is from Fusako's perspective, and then
yeah.
the second is from Ryuji's perspective.
Mm,
So
mm,
Fusako was aware only of the next day's parting, stroking Ryuji's cheek, touching the hot lacquered surfaces where he'd shaved, smelling the odour of flesh rising from his agitated chest. She sensed every nerve in his body screaming goodbye. His tight, furious embrace told her how desperately he wanted to affirm that she was real and really with him. But for Ryuji, the kiss was death, the very death in love he'd always dreamed of. The softness of her lips, etc., etc. So
mm,
I think that's tying into his romantic fantasy, that the tragedy that he
mm.
seeks without through romance or via romance, that I thought is sort of doomed to want to sort of seek tragedy without romance, or briefly have a romance in order to enact a tragedy. It just seems a bit childish to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very childish guy, and I think what we've discussed earlier is this. He still does see himself very much as a protagonist, a universal protagonist, and I think he's sort of he's sort of narrating. He's almost like narrating his life, and using these events to punctuate his, to punctuate this story or this narrative in his own head.
Yeah, I think so.
But then he just starts thinking about the ships while he's
Yeah,
having
of
this very
course.
tender
Of
moments.
course. He cannot put that fucking ship out of his mind.
It's funny times enough for a friend to be pulling out.
Just like,
Wonder how they got it loaded so
a
fast.
thought broke the spell of the kiss. He opened his eyes and then he pulled out a cigarette. Like, fucking weirdo, man. So,
Well,
yeah,
she wasn't happy about
she
that.
begins to cry, relieved by the reassurance of her tears. He too began to cry. Oh,
Yeah.
man. He is,
Come on, man.
this is like, well,
Big boys don't cry. Is it appropriate for a grown man to cry?
I would think
Probably, actually, yes. Is it appropriate for a grown man to get wet in a fountain? No, it's not.
no. Well, I don't think it's appropriate for a grown man to cry in this specific sequence when
Yeah.
she's clearly just doing it to be like a drama queen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't,
Especially after one
yeah.
night. I can't, well, I think maybe things were maybe different back then, but
But
come on, one night.
he's so oblivious that she's like, oh,
Yeah. That's kind of
this is
cute,
making me
actually.
so sad. She's doing like the anime, like, ooh, and he's like,
He's like,
this is so
I wonder how they
tragic.
load the ship so fast.
Like,
Oh, wonder what's for lunch tomorrow.
yeah. Oh no, she's crying. Oh shit, her crying is making me so sad. But he actually starts crying.
Well, and there's a nice scene here where she's like, they're playing with the lighter, and there's obviously nice dull light flickering around and dancing around between them, and maybe we'll get back to that at the end of this chapter, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because then we cut to Noboru.
Yes. Being like pacing around the house,
Yes.
like in a
Where is mother?
he's like in a manic episode here. Reading one page of a book, putting it down, getting up, scratching his head, thinking about where he'd go to sleep, thinking about going to his mother's room, hearing the doors open because the housekeeper's telling him to go the fuck to sleep because it's 11 o'clock. And he's outraged by that. He's like, I get, it was hard to just understand what he was talking about here, but I think he leans against the door to prevent the woman from opening it.
Yeah.
Which is such like a,
Because he's worried that she's going to see the drawer
yeah,
out, and then she's going to discover I don't know. He thinks that she's going to see it out and be like, okay, he must be hiding in there and looking through the wall. That's how a child's mind works, right? The guilt is on the mind.
It's total like, they're gonna read my brain and figure out that I'm a psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's got guilt written all over him, which is why in the previous chapter, the start of it, there's a real classic like out damn spot moment where he's scrubbed his hands clean of all his cat's blood, and he's like, but what if it's on the rest of my body? What if they figure it out what I've done? And I think that guilt is. Do you think guilt?
Yeah, I think it is guilt.
I think it's guilt. It has followed him through to this next chapter.
He he's furious, his brow dripping sweat. He wrenched the doorknob open with all his might. The door didn't open. The housekeeper's footsteps faded as she descended the groaning stairs. This woman is just like, has a total read on Noboru being a little cunt of a kid.
Yeah. She knows exactly what to do with him, which is make sure he is confined to his room
And hassle him
as far as possible.
Like, she'll be thinking he is in there masturbating right now, and that's not allowed. I'm going to rattle this doorknob until he stops it.
But that's an interesting point you make. Well, thing you said, because nowhere in this novel is Noburu's sexual desires ever really touched on and discussed. And I do find that odd for a bunch of sort of 13, 14-year-old boys.
I do too, but he does explain it. So he explains in the previous chapter as part of the sense deadening that he and the other boys are trying to do. So trying to remove themselves from all feeling. So maybe an after effect of that, I think, that he's
So this is basically like the 1965 version of No Nut November.
I don't know. Maybe is that a thing?
Just like this psycho boy thing of
Ugh,
like, not semen retention
good
stuff. It's
lord.
like,
But if you get
oh,
if you get too
not for
much
me, mate.
bindu in your balls, that's you're asking for fucking trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
The bindu is supposed to get out.
You got to open the tap. You got to fucking open the tap.
Nah,
So anyway, so Noboru is acting like a madman, waiting for his mum to get home so he can watch her get fucked.
yeah, he's like 2
And
seconds away from just like grabbing a pillow and screaming into it.
yeah, yeah.
But he he writes his nasty little list, being his poison pen note against Ryuji. And then erases the third point because he realizes that it would be a contradiction of the first two, which were aesthetic
Mm-hmm,
and idealistic and therefore objective value
mm-hmm.
judgments, which are not. They are not at all. They're total like
Yes.
shit opinions.
I don't think I've ever heard of a 13-year-old boy who can probably think like that. But anyway, that's
The
fine.
subjective
That's
problem in the
that's
third
little.
charge was only proof of his own immaturity,
Mm,
unlike being upset at someone for having a wet shirt and smiling at you,
yeah.
which are totally
And
mature
I,
and normal things to do.
and so he's in his pajamas. For some he's figured it out. Mum's not coming home. I can't watch her have sex. But I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm going to punish my mouth with a toothbrush, and then I'm going to put on my pajamas. I'm just going to sit in that little hole and look through the hole. So I'm going to sit in the nook and look through the hole just for, I guess,
At
like
nothing.
just to see what's there. And first of all, he freaks out because like I can't see anything.
Yeah.
The hole's gone. And then he realized, no, actually, it's just dark. So the hole's still there.
Yeah.
I can sort of see through. Now my eyes adjust. But for me, like I was thinking, like it's actually a really nice contrast in this chapter. You've got his mother at the start of the chapter creating light with a lighter and doing funny things with the light, and then poor Noboru all at home in the dark because mum's not there to put the lights on for him.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there looking at a dark hole in the wall.
Mum's busy doing the Super Hornio Brothers with Ryuji. And
yeah, they're doing all the positions on top, on bottom.
all four of them.
I can only count 3.
Oh shit! I'll tell you about it afterwards. As Noboru sits in a box that he describes as a coffin, looking through a tiny hole. What a fun! Oh, I'd love that. This is like nobody else could do it. This is why Mishima's the best. The most absurd situation, like described with the gravest seriousness you could possibly muster.
Just an absolute sicko. You have to put that little photo, that little picture in the show notes as well.
I'll do it in the video. I'll cut it in.
Yeah.
Good lord.
It's like this child is sick. This goes beyond what a normal teenage boy should be doing and feeling, experiencing. Maybe you were like a perfect teenage boy who only thought nice, pure things and only did good things. But I'm going to say that I wasn't, and I was nowhere near this bad.
You were smoking the cigarette. You were smoking the cigarette,
I was doing
and leaning up against the wall.
I was doing little bad things all the time. I wasn't killing cats. That was good.
I don't think I was at 13. I don't think I was out much. I think I maybe went to my cousin's house for sleepovers, but that was probably it.
Me and my little shit friends did all sorts of bad things, but we were not at the level of this little gang of fucking freaks.
Yeah, wow.
And keep in mind, he's fourth in line. He's number 3. He's behind the chief, number 1, number 2. So and it's a gang of 6. So he's
but I don't know.
Not really.
I don't know if it's actually a hierarchical thing, apart from the chief being the guru. I don't think the other ones have like a deference hierarchy.
Could it be age, maybe?
I don't know.
Anyway,
who knows?
Maybe we're speculating because we'll get to the hierarchy or we'll get to the structure of that group a little bit later on. So maybe we can discuss it then.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, well, this is I thought it was the last episode. The last chapter of the of
Oh
the
no.
first half, but it was actually the second to last chapter. So next
Yeah.
episode.
Shit, we should have just done chapter 8 as well. Whatever, that's fine. We can.
It's fine. Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.